fired up.
4th down and goal from the 9. 17 seconds to go. The play clock at 3. Shotgun snap. Carr throws into traffic. Intercepted. Jermaine Pratt has the football.
Yeah.
Coffin nails.
Bam, bam, bam. How about that? It ends on a turnover.
Joe Burrow takes the snap. He takes a knee. And after 31 years, the drought is over. It is no fluke. It is a fact. The Cincinnati Bengals are headed to Super Bowl 56.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Pardon the Punctuation. I am Aaron Smith, and I'm joined only by Ed today, as Jeff he's been called into work
again.
That's three weeks in a row, I think.
This needs to stop.
3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, it's out of control. I miss Jeff. I miss Jeff so much.
I miss Jeff too.
So, yeah, we are going to be flying just the original duo.
I know we know Geoff. He just leaves us.
So the Reds. Where do we start with the Reds? Do we want to start about the recent success, or
Let's start with the recent success starting back in Toronto? But that was 2 weeks ago.
Do we want to start with the Castellini apology?
The Castellini apology was pretty hilarious.
Why won't this go away? How many times do we have to apologize? Like, if he had done this months ago instead of 2 months after the fact, I think it would be more believable. And the fact that I just feel like it was poorly written.
Yeah. Well, and poorly given as well. I mean, did you see the picture of the season ticket holders that were there listening to him apologize?
All like 70 people?
Yeah, it was. I could probably count them right here. 20, maybe. You know what I mean? Just in the middle of a pouring down rainstorm, Bob Castellini's just be like, hey, listen, guys, I said some shit.
Well, it was Phil, not Bob.
That's what I meant to say. Phil's like, I said some shit, all right? And it was and that was months ago when I should have apologized back then, you know? But now that it's kind of like we've kind of forgotten about that, I'm going to bring that shit back up and I'm going to apologize again.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why it's not gone away. And again, this could have gone away months ago, 2 months ago, when it initially happened. But instead, we've waited forever and ever.
And ever.
Courtesy of Charlie Goldsmith of the Enquirer, who I think might be the best writer for the Enquirer for sports coverage. It's a
possibility. Strong possibility.
But he had the transcript, so I was going to read it. Hello, I stand before you humbled by the beginning of our season. I want to make sure I got a chance to share how much you are appreciated by this franchise and myself personally. I got myself into trouble on opening day and got into the frustration from all the criticism of our franchise and our family. I really dropped my guard and got emotional about something we need to be strong enough and big enough to let our organization have a passionate and emotional response to what's happening to our team. That sentence is horrible. Horrible. Yeah. At the end of the day, this is your team. We are stewards of that team. All I can tell you is that we do care. We are going to be here for the long haul as a team here. No shit. We will continue to invest in this product of the team, player development, and everything that goes into building a major league team and experience here at Great American Ballpark. That's your job, literally, your entire job. Those of you who have heard me before know that we can do that. Can you though?
I don't know about that one there.
We're looking to do that every season, and we continue to do that. Parsing hairs now.
We're stretching.
I stand before you with a formal apology if I offended any one of the people in this room. Well, you were outside. You weren't in a room if that was where you actually conducted that.
You were on a field and at the Holy Grail.
This is a foundation on which we build the franchise economically, and there was an inaudible. He wasn't able to transcribe that. I do appreciate that and recognize that. We do work every day 100% to try and get you the best product that we can. I'm getting maybe like 50 to 65% vibes here. It has been challenging here. Really? I've had some questions about that. Maybe spend money. I can tell you the team. We believe in Nick and what he's doing on the baseball side. Inaudible. I continue to serve you humbly, graciously. I thank you for continuing to support this team. I love the city of Cincinnati. I love the Reds. I thank those of you who are here. All like 55 of you.
I don't even think those 55. I think you're giving them way too much credit there.
What was the point?
He needed people to buy season tickets for next year. He's like, well, I guess I can apologize. And
he should have handwritten
12.
a letter. It should have been handwritten, even if just one time. It should have been handwritten and then sent to every single season ticket holder, whether you own a package or whether you own the whole damn kit and caboodle of the entirety of this season. And I feel really bad for anybody who made that financial error. But why is it 2 months later on and you do it in the guise of season ticket holder appreciation night?
Yeah, like I said, he was just trying to sell tickets for next year, just trying to get those tickets put out there.
I just think it's super shitty as a
Heartstrings.
As a part owner to try and not try to wait this long. 2 months he waited, and we got that. I think it's a slap in the face.
Do you think he'll crap, I forgot what I was gonna say. Jeff just threw me off with his Votto's being robbed comment. Oh, sorry. What do you think the other part owners were thinking when he was giving that speech? Like, dude, it finally blew over. What are you doing?
They're probably head in hands and just shaking their head, as I often do with you.
With me? What'd I do?
Just when we're doing the show.
I mean, I just got distracted by Jeff. See,
when you forget whole words in
I haven't forgot any whole words yet.
In tweets, you often
I did forget
whole words.
If we can get Elon to get on that edit button, that'd be wonderful.
Like, I don't even mind if the edit is time-stamped and you can actually still see the original, but the original doesn't show in timelines, right?
Like a wiki? Like, this was edited on May 31st at 6:29 or 9:28 p.m.
I'd even be okay if the edit came as like a second tweet to the first one, and that, but still, that's the one that shows up on the timeline, not the original. Like
on Word, when like what you are redacted, it has a line strike through it and it's red, and then like what you added is green.
Sure.
I'm in with that.
Sure.
I'm in with that.
So yeah, the apology. I mean, we're back on the fake ass apology tour presented to you by the Castellini ownership group.
And Khan's hot dogs.
I still feel terrible for Nick Kroll because I feel like he's been handed an impossible situation. Make this team better. Don't spend money. Any money. Except these guys that we had knee-jerk reactions for. In Mike Minor and what was the so many of these guys that they signed late, I feel like have been injured, so I don't even know what their names are. Solano, I think, is one of them. Tommy Pham, certainly one of them.
Oh, Tommy Pham. He's an interesting fella.
He's a head case, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. People in Cincinnati love that. So, like, we're going to ask for a contract extension for that guy.
Well, I mean, because
maybe
you go
lock
back,
him up.
You go back to the what they call him, the Wild Stallion.
Oh, you talk about
your friend,
Yasiel Puig.
Yasiel Puig, your friend.
Everything gonna be all right.
Everything gonna be fine.
The middle of downtown Cincinnati, outside of like
blizzard
Ruby's or something. Yeah,
in a blizzard, like negative 20 degrees.
It's not that bad, guys. Everything gonna be fine.
It was one of those like polar vortexes or whatever.
Geoff just said that Tommy Pham is our 2022 Matt Latos.
I don't know. I think Latos is a bit more of a creep.
Yeah.
And Tommy Pham's still producing when he can get on the field.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas
that's fair.
whereas Latos completely fell off and got into some weird shit that I do not want to get into, either to talk about it or personally.
No, not even getting into it personally. No, I don't have that kind of money. I'm not a baller in Vegas.
I also have morals, standards, ethics.
I mean, do we want to go ahead and talk about it?
No, sure don't.
Nope.
Sure don't.
The slap heard around the country.
Anyway. Yeah. I think Tommy Pham is, while I think he's a certified lunatic, I think he's still good at baseball. I told Chad the other day, he reminds me of Milton Bradley. If you remember Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
The baseball player, not the
game, board game. Yeah.
Not the board game.
Not the board game guy.
Brand. Right.
Yeah.
The Milton Bradley was also crazy. Off the field. On the field. He was a certified lunatic. I don't know. I mean, I think, honestly, I know I brought up Puig to joke about him earlier, but I think that's a fair comparison as well.
I don't remember what Milton Bradley did when he was here.
He didn't do anything here. I just meant in general. I think you can compare what Tommy Pham is doing to Milton Bradley. I don't know that he was ever in Cincinnati, if I'm being honest.
Do you only go down the minors?
What's that?
Did we sign him at one point?
Milton Bradley? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I have to know.
I'm
only getting the board game.
Same.
Oh, American baseball player. Hold on. Here we go. Wiki. Nope, we didn't.
We did?
No, we didn't. It was
I didn't think so.
Cleveland did. Maybe that's why I remember it.
Sure.
Yeah. Seattle, Chicago, Texas, San Diego, Oakland, Los Angeles, Cleveland, Montreal.
Yeah, he was in trouble off the field. Domestic violence. I feel like he did stuff on the field as well, though.
Speeding.
I don't know. I don't have time to go through all of the different.
He sped away before he be handed his ticket from an officer.
That's all the stuff in the personal life. There was stuff he did on the field where he was like certifiably crazy as well.
I'm just skimming over the wiki and I'm not seeing anything. Something about being able to answer questions from the media respectably. He apologized to the Cubs organization for that.
In any case,
good stuff. Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, Tommy Pham was involved in an incident this weekend where he was in a what a story, right?
It's a great story.
What a story!
As this was coming out on Twitter, I was like, this ain't real. This ain't real.
Was it Saturday? I think
Friday night.
Saturday?
Friday night.
Friday. So Tommy Pham was slated to play in the game Friday night, and he was in the outfield chopping it up with Jock Peterson of the San Francisco Giants,
who, by the way, does not look like a Major League Baseball player.
Jock Peterson?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't know if you watched any of the post-game interviews with him. Yeah.
You need to elaborate.
I'll pull up a picture. You go ahead and go.
So he was chopping it up with him in the outfield, and then Will Smith, Chris Rock slapped the shit out of him. It apparently had something to do with fantasy football. And
disrespectful.
There was a GIF, which wasn't that big deal. I didn't think it was that big a deal, but he was in fantasy football in a group chat and made fun of the Padres, who Tommy Pham was recently a part of, and he felt it was disrespectful.
And apparently, Jock Peterson apologized way back when for it.
There was nothing to apologize for.
It was nothing to apologize for, but he did.
He said in the game or in the in the chat, I guess, that he didn't know him like that to talk to him like that. And I don't know about you, but who's reacting that way to gifts?
Well,
I guess Tommy Pham ended up dropping out of that league. I don't know if it had to do with maybe his lack of skill in fantasy football.
but he's a big baller in Vegas, he said.
That has nothing to do with fantasy football.
Apparently, there was a high stakes fantasy football league, like high stakes. I think one of his comments was, "I'm a baller in Vegas."
That doesn't mean shit. Like, just because you're good at the craps table or good at roulette or blackjack doesn't have anything to do with fantasy football.
Well, I think he's talking about. Okay.
So you're good at Hold'em and you can throw some money around. Again, has nothing to do with fantasy football. So much of fantasy football is due to luck, like pure luck.
Yeah, pretty much. I did so well this year.
Well, and maybe that's what it has to do with Vegas. How much of Vegas is based on pure luck?
I can't find a picture of him, but he has this weird mustache / blonde hair thing going on.
He's getting up. He's getting up there in age. I don't think he's not young, Jacques Peterson.
Almost like Baby Huey from like one of those.
So what? You just didn't think he should be a professional sports player, or did you?
He doesn't look like it. Okay, so here it is. I found
liken him more to a professional wrestler. Oh,
yeah.
He looks like somebody who should be like at the meat market.
He looks like he got done hiking for 20 days. Like that's not the guy I remember from the home run derby.
No. He's like Huh.
And then my favorite part was like he was just pulling out quotes from his phone. He's like looking at his phone and like giving quotes like, "This is what I said to him. This is what he responded."
I feel like when you're in your 30s and you look like that, that's why you get slapped the shit out of.
Or they're like, "Well, do you have the gift that you sent to him?" And he's like, "I guess I could show it to you."
Do you have it?
Oh, I have the gift. Yeah. It's stupid. It's like
absolutely stupid.
It's like CrossFitters or something like that. Just
absolutely stupid.
I mean, that's
that's it. That's the whole thing.
It doesn't catch the kettle bag, I guess. And oh, jeez, that does look like it hurt, though. That does look like it hurt.
Oh, sure, it hurt. 100%.
You like got her around the neck and pulled her back down. That's going to be whiplash.
Yeah, it definitely hurt. She never did that again, ever after that day. But yeah, there's no reason at all for things to escalate to that level based on that.
Well, then he was out of the lineup today because he was complaining. I'm sorry, Tommy Pham was out of the lineup, not Jacques Peterson. Complaining about back pain.
Yeah, back soreness.
But then he made sure to tell all the reporters that his hand is fine. His hand is not sore. Because of the slap.
I mean, that's a pretty good troll jab.
Oh yeah, I liked it. I mean, there was nothing.
So the Reds are currently beating Boston 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th.
I forgot to turn it on the TV before I got over here.
Luis Castillo went 6 innings, 1 hit, 10 strikeouts in 100 pitches. It's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
The Reds have been outstanding of late.
A little bit of a winning streak.
I don't know that you can call it a winning streak.
Yeah, maybe not streak, but they've been winning some games, I guess.
They've been stringing together some wins. Absolutely. Yeah. Where I saw this stat, I want to say it was Bobby Nightingale on Twitter, and I think other people have since retweeted it. But the Reds over the court, they started 3-22 in their first 25 games. And since then, the only teams better than them are the Yankees and the Dodgers. And that's it. I know.
We hang our hat on.
I know during the game on Saturday, one of them, Friday, I don't know. They said that the Reds had, since May 7th, scored over 6 runs a game maybe it was at home, but they had basically go on.
I was gonna say that's something that Phil Castellini could put in his next apology. Like, I apologize, but hey, for like 4 days, we were better than the Yankees.
And if you go back to the beginning, we beat the Braves twice.
Yeah, we did beat the Braves twice this season.
13
World
and 9
Series champions, if you remember that.
So I don't know. I mean, if these kids, because that's all that's left is Joey Votto, Moose, and a bunch of kids, right?
That's all, yeah.
And Tommy Pham, I guess.
And Tommy Pham. I mean,
Mike
how
Minor,
much longer
he come back? Solano.
I mean, Tommy Pham will be gone at trade deadline, right?
Matt Reynolds, I guess. I don't know if he's a widely old vet at this point. I don't know. I mean, I know we've joked about this with certain teams over the course of the roughly 5 years or so that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
But this is the island of misfit toys if there ever was one, right?
We've said that a lot of times. Yeah. No, it is. This is a pieced together team. Just if you think about that toy from Toy Story, the one that was in Spike's room or whatever that guy's name was room, it had like the octopus legs and like the baby doll head and like it's just like around the room. That's us. Around the bases. Just around the bases.
I thought you were going to go for the hooker. The leg with the fishing rod attached to it.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we're just a piece together baseball team.
100%.
Yeah. And the bats aren't, I've heard, I haven't looked at their stats, but the bats aren't doing any better because we have all the bats players up here. Like
pretty much.
I mean, there's
who's left? You've had I think it's friend of the show, the guy from Late Night. Help me out. Why am I blanking here?
Oh, the guy who hates Farmer. Really? He's on it.
I'm totally blank right now. But he's been keeping tabs on a field on Twitter of all of the injuries from this season. And I think we're up close to 30 of people who have hit the IL.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. I was trying to find it, but yeah. Again, this goes back to earlier when we were like earlier this season when we were like, are these guys just going on the IL because they're done too? Like why am I out here competing? It's a possibility, I guess.
Nick Kirby, good Lord.
Kirby, thank you.
I blanked out. Jesus.
Jeez.
But yeah, Nick Kirby has been keeping track
on Kyle Farmer
on a field and has it's a hilarious tracker, if you will. And it also it simultaneously hurts.
Oh yeah, on the inside.
I don't know if he's been doing it from his personal or from his late night Reds.
All right, that was a smart one. They took Jock Peterson holding the phone to the cameraman and put their logo, Late Night Reds logo, on it. That was funny. I like that.
Nice. There it is. I don't know.
I can't.
It's from 523.
523?
Yeah.
Ooh, I was close. I was on 26.
And there's so many. It says welcome Connor when Connor Overton came up. Shortly left shortly thereafter.
Welcome.
So I don't even know when the last time was that he updated this list. But it's been a mess of injuries. Yeah. Yeah, that's
I like that. Look, I mean, looks like he did an MS Paint, but I'm gonna give him credit for it.
Look at how many injuries that is, though. The entire field. And that's not even just injuries. That's guys who actually went to the IL.
Yeah. That's the whole team.
Yeah.
Like they added the little ambulance there. Nice touch.
I mean, what a mess.
I don't know. I mean, they keep putting up some good baseball. What was it, 20 to 4? The
20
other
to
25 against the Cubs on
Thursday
night, which is ridiculous.
Absurd.
They beat the Giants on Friday night. They beat the Giants on Saturday night. Lost on Sunday. Beating the Red Sox right now 1-0. So I mean, unless this hasn't refreshed in a while, because I think you said it was tied. Nope, 1-0 still. So I mean, I told you this is what was going to happen. Like towards the end of the season, it's happening a little bit earlier than I expected. But they're going to put that string of wins together. It's going to get us like, oh, this is hope. This is hope. We got this.
But that 3-22 start
Rip
kills you. They're actually not in last place anymore.
Which is what, yeah.
How do you start 3-22 and somehow you're not in last place anymore?
Well, you have to think who is it?
The Royals.
Yeah, thank you, the Royals for that one.
They're really bad.
They're not good. I mean, they're worse than us, obviously. Right now, this week.
16-32. The Reds are 16-31.
Came back from a rain delay on Thursday. Which, by the way, a shout out to Clay's best friend. Well, now I just forgot his name as well. Caleb, who caught that home run ball out there when nobody else was in the stands. And then came home the next day and thought his dog was chewing on it.
Is Joey Votto.
Yeah, Joey Votto home run ball. Yeah.
Which that's a Joey Votto shout out as well. What's did you see the private chat? What's happening?
Oh no, I missed the private chat. I don't understand what that means. Hold on. What does that mean?
It means I've been sitting here for like 15 minutes.
Well, I didn't know if you were just chilling or what.
Ed was talking though, so I'll take it. I'll take it.
I had some Tommy Pham stuff I wanted to talk about. That's how long I've been sitting in the chat.
We can go back to Tommy Pham for sure.
Did you talk about it enough last night from 6 to 9 on 700 at BLW?
Yeah, but he wants it on his airwaves.
Okay, that's fine.
These are my airwaves. That's their airwaves. I got paid for it today, so I mean it's all good. But I mean, I'm just saying, like I got some things I wonder. Some things that pique my interest.
What you
So,
got?
one, are you a big fan of Tommy Pham?
He is a bona fide crazy person, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you here for it though?
yeah, I mean,
Gives us entertainment.
Like,
Let me go back to this. How did you feel about Yasiel Puig when Puig was here?
I love people like this is me. You're talking to me.
Yeah.
I love people who are authentic. Be yourself. I don't give a shit what people think.
If you want to lick a bat every time you're up, lick your
Go
bat.
for it.
Lick
Right.
your bat. I don't care.
Right.
Baseball's for
yourself.
crazy people anyway.
Do you. Like, I have no problem with that. Unless doing you is like,
Carrying over off the field and then when it gets messy.
throwing people into a river with a block tied to their ankle. Like,
We prefer that you don't do that. Yes.
yeah, that like
Yeah.
if that's doing you, don't do that.
That causes traffic
But-
jams.
But within reason, do you. I don't know that I'd go around just slapping the shit out of people,
God.
but
In a
Okay.
post-pandemic world, things are weird. Things are weird.
so a couple things I want to talk to you guys about with this situation. How much do you think the buy-in for that fantasy football league was?
Oh, a couple.
It has to be minimum 10K, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I'm guessing closer to 6 figures.
they're not that rich.
I was about to Google how much a band is. I thought that was close to 10K, so I'm going 10K.
Aaron, the thing
I worked
is,
at a bank. A band is 10K. Yes.
they're not 6K in a fantasy football league rich.
I'm
They're
tuned into the
6
streets.
figures in a fantasy football league rich.
I
They're
mean,
rich.
If he's as good at Vegas as he claims to be,
Again, you think
balling
that
on a
dude,
budget.
you think that dude's like high rollers in Vegas are typically like billionaires, right? Like
He ain't that.
he ain't that. Like he's got a couple million in the bank, like more power to him. But he ain't Phil Mickelson. Like he's not at a position where he's going to lose $40 million in like 5 years and just be okay with it. He ain't balling like he thinks he's balling. What did we just talk about? He's a crazy person.
Yeah, but crazy people have money. Well, they have money and they lose money, i.e. Mike Tyson.
Right. So I'm guessing 10K. I guess it came out tonight. The commissioner of the league is Mike Trout. How perfect is that?
I love that.
I want to know who else is
perfect
in
is
that league.
I mean, it sounds like a bunch of West Coast guys, apparently, right? Like,
yeah.
So that's number one. How much is the buy-in for the league? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
2, who is actually slapped? What other men just slapped somebody?
Chris Rock, Will Smith.
Yeah.
That's like, is this a thing now? That and this is why I wonder that, because like maybe this is like a cop out, because if you punch somebody in the face, you either knock them out or there's a fight, right?
There's usually some type of respect afterwards, though, as long as you're not cold cocking somebody.
Wait, if you
Yeah,
slap
but
somebody?
I mean, like, no, if you punch somebody in the face,
yeah.
like that's code for men for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
Square up, hands closed, you're in a fight.
Right, until the
If
other
you
one
just
gets
come
tired.
up and smack somebody in the face.
It's so disrespectful.
It's way more disrespectful than a punch.
Would you rather be open hand slapped, though, or would you rather be spit on? Which is more
Oh
disrespectful?
no,
Ooh, open
the
hand slaps.
Yeah, spitting is
that's-
out. Like it. Spitting is also a
Oh,
spitting is not a fight. Spitting is I'm going to get my gun,
That's the
and I don't
ultimate-
even own a gun.
That's the ultimate disrespect, right? Like,
Right.
Oh,
spitting on
apparently-
someone.
Yeah.
but open hand slaps got to be close, like on
It's
the
not
hierarchy, on the hierarchy of disrespect.
Spitting is up there, especially this post-pandemic. Like, right? Like, that dude just spit on me. Man, does he have COVID? Like, that's the first thing you think of.
No, the first thing you think of is that motherfucker just spit on me, and we got problems.
Yeah,
I might have COVID.
I think you're reaching for a joke there. I didn't follow you down that lane, but
First thing I would think of.
I don't know about you, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sign of complete disrespect to be open hand slapped.
Open hand,
I
and
got
that's
slapped.
the thing. A man slapped you.
A man slapped me. Well, I mean, you call a person who slaps another person a man. But yeah, no, at the end of a fantasy.
See, that was a joke, Ed. Well done.
Thank you.
With that joke.
It was the end of a flag football game. Aaron knows how the intense these games get. And this guy from the other team and our guy were kind of like face to face. I broke him up and I'm talking to the guy from the other team. I was like, hey, don't worry about it. It's all good. And I was like, good game. We even dapped it. Like, you know what I mean? I turned my head and bam, right across my face. What the hell was that? I look over and the man is just running off the field. You ain't gonna do nothing. You're running.
That's not your strong suit.
Yeah, exactly. But he slapped the shit out of me.
I wasn't on that team, was I?
What is your visceral reaction when you've been slapped in the face?
My first reaction was, what the fuck was that?
I think maybe that's kind of the thing, right? If you smack somebody in the face, it takes a minute to like process.
Did he hit me with yeah? Like at first I was like, oh, did he punch me? But then like I felt like a whole face full, you know, like it was like, and I didn't rub it. I didn't rub it, but I felt like a whole, you know what I mean? Like the whole side of my face. It wasn't like that. It was like
Not
a whole
here
side.
or
Yeah.
here so much.
It was right the whole thing.
Here.
And that's when I realized it was a slap.
I don't see anything.
So
I had to turn.
Was there ever a retaliation, or you just ate the slap?
Now, he ran.
Again.
Well, I mean, did you ever see him again?
To be honest with you, I don't think if I did see him in the league again, I didn't remember him.
Okay.
Ooh.
How do you not remember somebody that slapped you in the face?
I'd be able to give the cops a description for a sketch if
Yeah,
somebody
there'd be a sketch artist representation of that motherfucker.
All I could see was the back of his head. He was running. My man was gone. He was out on
Jeffrey
route 4.
Jeffrey got slapped by some bag snatchers one year on Halloween.
See, now that's wrong.
Ed, I'd have gone to a hypnotist to speak through the memories of the dapping up to be like, no, we getting this description of this fella.
That was That was prior to Parker being born, so that was
prior to kids.
9 years ago.
Even more reason.
I don't tell him about that story. I'm like, hey, your dad got slapped. I'm not trying to tell him that story, but
that's what Ed likes to refer to as old Ed.
No, that was even after old
fantasy football. This guy slapped the shit out of me.
Flag football.
Flag football. Sorry, got the Pham Peterson.
Yeah,
and also Jock Peterson looks like a cartoon version of like a boy that shouldn't be a boy anymore. Like he's got some Chris Griffin to him. If he was fat, he would be Chris Griffin.
Ooh, if he was a cartoon, he would be Chris Griffin.
Well, yeah, like but Chris Griffin's fat. Like if he was a cartoon, that's Jock Peterson.
Was Jock Peterson ever busted for PEDs? Because he's got that head swell.
He looks like the Fallout Po' Boy. I don't know what that is.
Fallout Boys, but like the poor version.
Oh, okay.
The Fallout video game character.
Oh, no, sorry. I was thinking Fallout Boys. Down in a merry-go-round.
Oh boy, don't do that. Don't ever do that again.
That was Fallout Boys, right?
I think so.
Okay,
but if you ever do that again, I will slap the shit out of you.
If you run, I'll never know.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Especially if you dapped up first.
Oh, we did. I was so confused. I think 2 games later, I got the concussion and I quit. I got a concussion. Yeah.
Oh my god.
In flag football.
Football. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not as bad as mine.
It's
I got a concussion playing intramural softball.
I got a concussion in drama.
I got a concussion at a fraternity party.
No shit. Who hasn't got a concussion at a fraternity party? That's because you weren't in a fraternity.
Yeah, you went to college as an adult, not as a guy
Jesus
straight out of.
That'd be even worse. That'd be even worse. I was in the above 30 fraternity and I got a concussion. It was great.
So, Chad, what do you make of the wins that the Reds have strung together here?
This was always the problem with this team from the start, right? So they're not by any means the least talented team in baseball.
No, I mean I think
they have plenty of talent.
Pretty fair assessment as the island of misfit toys, right?
That brings them to be a middle of the road team. So it's no surprise they are going to have stretches where when the pitching is good, they're going to win some games.
Well, this is where you were mad several weeks ago when somebody was writing about them being perhaps the worst team in all of history.
No.
And we knew that this team had some talent. If you look at the Kansas City Royals right now, you could make that argument. Who do they have?
Here's the crazy part. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. The Reds are gonna finish 3rd in the National League Central.
Man, I don't know that
I
don't know that I'm ready to quite go there, but it's a hot take for sure.
Aaron, go look at the standings. Think about how bad they started.
Ed's able to pull those up.
And the Cubs and the Pirates are like 4 games ahead of the Reds. The Reds they had the second worst start in the history of baseball.
3-22.
And those 2 teams are like the Reds are right behind.
We're not in last place anymore.
In all of baseball. Still in last place in the NL Central. But
last place in the National League for that matter.
They're 3 games. Well, the Pirates, I guess, won tonight or today. But they're 3 games behind the Pirates. 3 games behind the Pirates and 4 games. 3 games behind the Cubs, 4 games behind the Pirates in the win column.
Well, did the Reds win? Is the game over in Boston?
Not yet. That's bottom of the 9th. Santillan is pitching.
Oh, good old T-Rex arms.
It's 2-0 Reds.
Good old T-Rex arms. I love him.
So they're right there. They're better than the Cubs and the Pirates. This roster is better than the Cubs and the Pirates. It's one of the problems I had when they sold off half of the team, but not the rest.
Well, and they added people that still bewilder me in Solano, in
Pham and Minor.
Pham kind of made sense because you potentially could trade him as a piece. I don't think you can move the other two. I don't think you can move a Solano. I don't think you can move a Minor and actually get anything back.
Matthew says, just wait until the Reds sell off Castillo, Malley, and others at the All-Star break. Good.
I think
sell them.
Yes.
Sell them. Here's the thing, Matthew.
They wait too long.
The Reds are not going to be competitive until 2024. Okay? Guess who's not going to be here in 2024? Castillo, Malley,
Moose,
Minor, Pham, Moose, Votto.
Sad.
It's like Kenny at the window of the jail in Half Baked.
We love making Half Baked references.
I thought you were going to say South Park.
I'm going to have to go back and rewatch Half Baked so I can follow you down these paths.
So Ed, have you ever seen Half Baked?
I cannot say that I have.
So one of the lead characters, they're a bunch of potheads, right?
Yeah.
And they get stoned, and the one guy goes to the store on a Munchies run, and he comes out of the store with all this stuff from the Munchies run, and there's a police horse there, and he starts feeding the police horse all the Munchies, and then the police horse dies.
Have you ever seen strawberry popcorn, by the way? Like, that's the only place I think I've ever seen strawberry popcorn.
Oh, I've seen bits of
pop, pop, pop. And then the horse dies, and then he goes to jail for being a horse murderer, and then Dave Chappelle.
Cop killer.
Yeah, cop killer. Dave Chappelle and Jim Brewer go, and they're like, we figured out a way to get you out of jail. We're going to sell weed. And I can't remember the damn guy's name. It's escaping my brain right now. But he's like, yeah,
Nelson?
No. Kenny.
Oh.
The one that's in jail. Like, he's a famous stand-up comedian, but his name is escaping me right now.
I got you.
But he's like, yeah, go. Sell it. Sell it. Go. What are you sitting here telling me you're going to sell weed to get me out of prison for? Get me out of prison. Nasty Nate is trying to...
Guillermo Diaz.
No, Guillermo Diaz is the Mexican. I'm talking about
Harlan Williams.
Yeah, Harlan Williams. There it is. Harlan Williams. Guillermo Diaz is the fuck you.
I'm out.
You're cool.
So you have seen Half Baked.
No,
I would say I've seen bits and pieces. Yes, after I pulled it up. Yes, I've seen bits and pieces.
You've seen that in like a GIF.
No, I've seen I
it's
distinctly
like
remember
Chappelle
on the couch
first
with
major thing.
Yeah,
he was like still skinny.
Well, like the story of that, right? Like, so they told they sold the movie and hadn't written it. So he called Neil Brennan. And I don't know if you've ever seen Neil Brennan. Three Mics is. Have you ever seen Three Mics, Ed?
Neil Brennan's great.
No.
Watch Neil Brennan, Three Mics. It's unbelievably good comedy.
I've heard of one mic.
You've heard of Two Girls, One Cup, probably.
What?
So Chappelle calls Neil Brennan, and he's like, "We've got until like Monday to write this movie." Which, if you watch it, it makes sense because it's the dumbest shit. Like, two guys completely stoned wrote that movie in like a weekend.
Makes sense
if you follow the the storyline of the movie, but it's hilarious. I love it. The cameos, like the whole thing, is great.
So back to your point,
Prime Video.
It's on Prime Video right now. Half Baked.
It says Tubi, Prime Video, Vudu, Redbox, Vudu Movie and TV, and Apple TV.
All right.
Great movie, Ed. It's so dumb. The problem is, I think most of the time I watched that movie, I was in my 20s. I haven't watched it much since I had a kid. You kind of have to be in the right state of mind
It's only free right now, Ed, on Tubi.
Oh, that's my bad.
You're gonna have
We
to be
used
in the right state of mind, Ed. So
We used to watch Super Troopers all the time.
So maybe if Jeff confiscates some edibles or something.
That'd be interesting.
Anyhow, yeah, sell it. Sell everything at the deadline.
Everyone.
Back to the point. Everything you can sell it. Be
Well,
done.
that's what Houston did, right? Houston set a template for this years ago when they had young guys, and then they traded all the young guys and got even younger.
Right.
And that was when Altuve was like young and Correa was young, and they got a chip out of it.
This is what I was talking about before when I said this is the Reds.
That's terrifying.
Is the Reds.
Oh boy. Second and third, no outs, bottom of the ninth, Reds winning 2-0.
Oh, we know where this is going.
And Santillan's still pitching? Yes.
Yes.
All right.
BRB.
ERB.
ERB. He can still hear us, by the way.
Yep. He's
Yep,
a Bluetooth in.
Geoff said he liked the buff ducky. That was his.
Is that what his name was? Buff Ducky?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what he's calling him. And there was Hooker as well.
Yeah.
As stated.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm in. Like, get rid of everyone that you can. Like,
yeah.
Any offers for even like, I don't know how to feel about this. We've been involved in some deals before that have involved covering partial or full remaining contracts just to get them off the team and somewhere else and get something in return. Yeah, absolutely. That one was the first that came to mind. But would you be opposed to trading off a Moose if you still had to eat the contract just to get something back?
He's only got this year left, right? Or is it next year too?
I think he has next year as well.
I think it was a 4-year deal. And
he was a 4-year deal, and then Castellanos was a 4-year deal right at the same time. So we could have potentially had the 2 years of Castellanos this year, next year as well.
Castellanos was a 4-year deal with a 2-year opt-out.
Well, the first two
halfway. Yeah.
The first 2 years were opt-out years, correct? Which was unprecedented. I don't remember anyone having a deal like that.
Right.
Usually it's
that was stupid.
Usually it's the last 2 years that are opt-out years.
Right.
That was so stupid.
Well, did you see the Memorial Day tribute and then he hits a home run? I don't think it was real. I don't think it was real.
It wasn't?
The audio changed. Like if you go back and listen to the audio quality, it sounds completely different from
We're talking about Castellanos.
Yeah, the tribute to them actually making the call on the home run. I don't think it actually happened like that.
I honestly believe at this point they're like, hey, we have something serious we have to talk about. Let's talk about it when Nick is up to bat, because this is just a thing that he does now.
I think somebody wanted Twitter clout.
That's fair too.
That's what.
But it's so funny that I don't.
It's still funny. Yeah, I mean, we get the joke. We're all the way in on the joke.
Yeah, totally here for it.
But yeah, I don't think it was real. So, Chad, how would you feel about making a move for Moose and eating his contract?
I don't think him. What? Who can like?
Would you?
I guess the thing about that is you're not going to get anything.
I was going to say, would you wait until next year where you're not having to pay 2 years of salary?
I mean, but he's not giving you anything.
Fair.
Clubhouse leadership, potentially.
Like
we don't know what happens in the clubhouse, obviously.
Right? Like I don't know. I don't think. I think you're better off figuring out what's next at third base, right? Or yeah. Because India's going to be playing second. Like, aren't you better off figuring out what your next move is? Like, whether it's when you're actually good again.
Well, it depends on how injured these people are too, right? Between Ellie De La Cruz, who I don't believe has made his debut here at the Bigs this year, but he's still one of the guys that you're looking for in the future. You have what's the shortstop that came up briefly that got injured?
Jose Barrero.
Thank you. You also
He's
have
back. He hit one off a scoreboard tonight.
You also have Alejo Lopez, who potentially could fill in at short
Right.
at third base as well. So thank you, Matt, in the chat for Barrero. But yeah, I mean, between those three guys, you've got some dudes at both the shortstop and the third base position. And I don't see Kyle Farmer.
What happened?
Ground ball to 8 Votto up. So it's 2-1 Reds, bottom of the ninth, first and third, 2 outs.
Boston's going insane, as they're one to do.
It looked like there were a shit ton of tickets available tonight.
It was because
There probably were.
the hapless Reds.
It's hot out there too.
If you've ever been to Fenway, by the way, like, it's amazing. I strongly encourage anyone who's not been to either make it for a Red Series or just head out to Boston. It's fantastic.
When's the next one? They haven't played there since 2014.
In a while.
Well, and I don't know how often they do those. It may have been.
They haven't won in Boston since the 75 World Series.
Jeez.
They may have been slated to play here the COVID year.
Maybe, yeah, and got squeezed.
That sounds familiar.
Or out there rather, not here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I know I've definitely been to Boston as an adult, a drinking age adult. Wearing a Boston. Wearing, yeah, I guess I was drinking age adult in 2014. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Jesus, Aaron.
I like to think I'm younger than I am. It's fine.
So I've got a weird scenario for you guys tonight.
Okay. To do with the Reds?
No.
We're moving on from the Reds?
We don't have to. I just got a weird scenario for you guys.
Moving on.
We don't have to. We can come back to the Reds.
I want to.
We're waiting on the final out to happen.
That's what I'm waiting on. Too. I have the game cast pulled up.
We're filibustering.
Okay.
So I live next door to this nice family. They're I like them. They're quiet. They don't really say anything or bother you, or they're like what I consider perfect neighbors.
So they're possibly murderers. Gotcha.
I don't care. That's fine with me. But they have a.
As long as they aren't fucking with you, all
right,
good.
just leave me alone. I don't care.
Just don't look out the window at night.
So they have a daughter that's college age, I think, probably early 20s. And she's pregnant, which, good for you. Congratulations. It'll be, I'm sure, fun to have a little rugrat in a year or two running around in the yard. Reds win, by the way. So tonight I'm outside. I'm smoking a cigarette. And she brings out her and her mom. Her mom puts a chair out in the driveway. And she brings out this case that kind of looks like a guitar case. And I'm like, are they going to just sit out in the driveway and play some acoustic guitar?
Was it a Tommy gun?
No, it was a bow, like a. And she pulls out this sweet looking bow and 6 arrows. And I look, and there's a target down at the end of the driveway in the yard.
Shooting into the street?
No, shooting away from the street towards their backyard.
Okay.
And she's just zing.
So you have Katniss Everdeen living next door.
Apparently, we've been here. We've been here since November.
That was a Hunger Games reference.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
Yep, got that.
And yeah, it was the high-tech, newer, high class.
Like you'd see in the Olympics.
Yeah, she was for real.
Like the rollers at the top, or
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Oh, it was in its own. It was in
that right up to the cheek.
It was in her elbow. Her form was perfect.
Yeah.
Didn't even move with the release.
Pregnant bellies aren't getting in the way of a bow.
Right.
Hey,
also,
point.
You are in the clear right now with protection should the zombie apocalypse happen.
Right.
Oh, you catch that thing on fire, you're set.
I feel pretty good about things.
You need to make friends with these crazy people.
Yeah.
So I think we're friendly. Like they had a package that was accidentally delivered here last week.
It was the bow.
No, it was like a Kohl's box. It was small. Might have been if you have to
arrows
piece together the arrows, it might have been the arrows.
Might have been the head on the arrows, yeah.
It might have been. But yeah,
new
so
feathers.
that was what was happening, Aaron, right before we did the nightcap tonight. I was watching my neighbor take target practice in the grass in between their driveway and our house.
Have you talked to said neighbor?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, here's a scenario for you. I have neighbors across the street who have been there for about 3 years. Never introduced myself.
I prefer like quiet. Like I prefer just leave me alone, right? Like we're minding our own business. I don't really want to talk to you. I don't really want you to talk to me. The neighbor on our other side is a friend of mine from high school that I've known since I was like 13 years old. So like I'm good. I have a neighbor that I know. I don't need any more.
Fair.
But I was just like wondering what your reaction would be if you walked outside and your neighbor's daughter, who was pregnant and in her early 20s, is just like a master. Like
I would not be surprised.
It was one of those targets with the hay like
right
behind it. So
it'd be cool if it was like one of those styrofoam deer ones. No, I actually wouldn't be surprised. My neighbor, not directly across the street, but to the left, him and his daughter go hunting, and they go bow hunting. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them out there.
Where Aaron's at, I'm surprised you guys don't have.
Oh, you hear guns. People are just shooting on their property.
At my own house in Independence, like a populated city, we used to have that as well. You could hear people just firing guns in their backyard.
In my old place, I lived downtown.
So you could hear people firing guns just into the street. You could hear people firing guns at other people.
We never heard on the podcast. We only heard street racing, but
we certainly heard that.
Yeah.
All right, the Reds won. That was a side topic that it was an interesting thing that happened in my life tonight.
So now 14-9 over the course of their last 23, way better than 3-22.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Well, that's the problem, right? They didn't blow it up. If they were gonna be that, like that's when everybody said they're tanking, and I was like, they are not tanking.
Pitching's been amazing. I know they threw up a graphic, I think it was Friday or Saturday, that they have allowed the 11th least amount of runs in all of baseball at that point in time since May 7th. I don't know why that date has stuck out, but that's one of the things.
That's
and
probably
also,
when they were 3-22.
Also, they scored the 6th most runs of any team in baseball in that same time span. So all of a sudden, that's the script has flipped. I don't know if it was somebody coming back. I haven't done enough research. I stopped watching for quite a while because I didn't care. They didn't give me anything to care about. And so I don't want to say I'm all the way back in because I'm still pissed at the Castellini ownership group personally. Like I have a birthday coming up. I'm still vetoing any Reds gear this year because I don't want to support them financially. I've told people if they want to buy me anything Reds, Cincy shirts is the way to go because that goes to the athlete and not to the Reds. I found my loophole.
So that is the first win in Boston in 47 years, like we talked about. That is so. This team is now
going Phil's letter.
This team has now lost a no-hitter and won a game where they didn't have an RBI. They didn't have an RBI tonight. Both runs were scored on errors. You're missing the pod tomorrow, seeing Slipknot. I'm okay with that.
That's fair. Yeah.
You're excused.
I mean, I feel like if you lose in the fashion that we lost a no-hitter, well, but technically not a no-hitter because it didn't go 9 innings. But if you lose that, karma
that's
has
the weird part. it is a no-hitter in the opponent's record books because it's a full game. Like they batted in the ninth, so they got no hit and won, but it's not an official no-hitter in the Reds record books because there wasn't a bottom of the ninth inning.
Baseball. But I feel like karma had to come back around, right? Because you lost in that type of fashion. So yeah, we were owed one from the baseball gods to get one like this where you win a game with no RBIs. Sure.
And they officially start 3-22 and end May with a winning record.
Oh, that's silly.
Yeah. Remember, the season started late. This wasn't a season that started like April 1st or whatever, like it's supposed to.
But that brings me to another point. Can we just get rid of baseball in April, period, for all of the teams that are above the Mason-Dixie line?
Did you just call it the Mason-Dixie line?
He did. I was gonna let it go.
Isn't that the name of it?
No, it's Dixon, like Deion Dixon.
All right, whatever.
Mason-Dixon line.
I live in Ohio, not in Kentucky. It's fine.
Well, I do too.
I'm not even going to make the joke I was going to make and relate it to a woman that called it a peach tree dish.
Thanks. I saw that coming a mile away.
It's like a peach tree dish. The Mason-Dixie line.
You're welcome.
When she said that, I was trying to.
You're welcome.
When she said that, I was trying to find that old 911 call when the guy's like, "I'm on Peachtree Street." You know what? I'm on Peachtree Street. Well, can you spell that for me? P-E-P-A. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna take them on down to Flynn Street, and you meet me there.
Was that north or south of the Mason-Dixie line?
I don't know.
I hate you.
I wish it was south of it.
It's just he does so much in like overcorrecting on like all things.
You win. I seed.
Oh man.
But yeah, get rid of baseball in April for all of these northern states.
Well, 162 games is too many games.
What would you start if you were the czar of baseball? How would you fix the schedule?
I'd drop down to like 140 maybe. I'd probably, if I had my druthers, I'd go even less, but I don't.
I would get rid of April entirely.
Mm-hmm. Which is roughly 25 games or so.
I would give each team 2 doubleheaders though, because I think they're fun. I think the 7-inning doubleheaders are so much fun.
I don't know that it's good for baseball, but I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that.
That was the best part of COVID.
And you get an extra call-up on those days. And we'll do them on Sundays. And that'll be a family day where you can go to the ballpark and enjoy a doubleheader with the family. 1 ticket gets you 2. Who cares? Baseball is hurting for attendance numbers anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Go do the damn thing. And have your crazy $3 beer, $2 hot dog days on those days. People will be plastered and so happy. Memories will be made.
If you eliminate April, there's much less of a chance that you're out of the race by Mother's Day. This Reds team was out of the race by Mother's Day.
That's true.
All I want is I want a team that is within striking distance of the wild card.
Well, that's why the 60
like July.
That's why the 60-game sprint was so much fun, right?
I mean, it's really hard to fall out of contention
for everyone.
Yeah, unless you started 3-22.
Well, if you started 3-22 in that scenario,
I miss those days, man. You remember, like, that was awesome with like nobody in the ballpark except for cardboard cutouts and the field crew just bottom all those noise makers and whatever, and they're just out there having a good old time.
I want to know how the one kid's hearing is at this point after he had the bucket on his head for damn near the whole season while they drummed it.
Oh,
those were the good old days.
So
but yeah,
got the save. Reds win 2-1, and they do it without an RBI.
Absolutely wild.
We did it.
Yeah, going back to your point though. Yeah, I'd absolutely trade off Farmer, trade off Moose. Just figure out what let the kids play, right? So, let the kids play.
If they have the rookie window expiring prior to 2024, or they are on a second or third contract or whatever, I would get rid of I would clean the deck for 2024.
It's what I did on MLB The Show. There is nobody on my team. Nobody on my team above 25 years old because I think it's silly. That's what I would do.
As we've talked about, Lodolo, Green, now Ashcraft, or is that his name? Graham Ashcraft?
Ashcroft.
India, Stevenson,
Justin Dunn's close.
Guerrero. Like, you have enough guys that you can see a core 2 years down the road as these guys become veterans and they go into like the backside of their rookie deals, which is arbitration. And you're going to need money for when these guys go into arbitration because we all think they're pretty good, right?
Yeah. Well, they have to be. They have to be the decks. They have to be pretty good, right? Because then if you don't think they're pretty good, then you've lost all hope.
Right. Clear the decks. Get as many prospects as you can. Stack the minors with as much as you can possibly stack it with. Louisville is a disaster right now. And it's not just because everybody's here. Louisville's a disaster right now because they don't have really anybody other than the guys I just mentioned that are AAA level. Everybody else is AA, high A, single A. Like, they're still working through the system. Diaz is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's a guy you can add to your bullpen that you think is going to be there long term.
I didn't know what Geoff was talking about earlier tonight. He did mention that Votto had an unlucky night. He was wondering if he would be robbed again.
You didn't see it?
No, he hit the wall twice. Not once, but twice he hit the top of the wall.
He hit the top of the wall in the short porch in right field, and it bounced back when it should just bounce, like hit the wall and bounce over.
Yeah.
Somehow it bounced back. And then he hit the wall at the top of the green monster, and it did the same thing. He was 3 inches from 2 home runs.
Too much English on it.
Yeah, too much spin. Joey's got to start hitting the ball with top spin and not back spin. Get in the cage and work that shit out, Joe.
Oh, man.
You're muted, Ed. We can't hear you.
No.
Speaking of stuff on the ball, Michigan.
Nobody
you didn't see that?
Talking about. Nope.
Michigan University pitcher had sticky stuff on the baseball. Took his glove, kicked him out of the game.
Good contribution.
Yeah, that was deep. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Just showing that I watch baseball. Actually, I just saw it on Twitter.
Unreal.
That's
the other
Twitter.
thing.
How much is Twitter your entire contribution these days?
Not a lot. Well, except for like the whole Tommy Pham thing, because we all found out about that through Twitter. But
oh yeah, I mean the shit got deep on Twitter with Tommy Pham.
That was the other thing we didn't give Bell credit for was that pitcher switch the other night.
That was
when
fantastic.
A pitcher who was not on the card. He's like, whoa. Nah,
so apparently that's a new rule this year.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
You could do that prior to this year, but this year they're like, no, we should probably make sure everybody who's on the current roster is on the card.
Is that a taxi squad thing? Like, is that what that's tied to? Because now there's a taxi squad that's like a level between the majors and the minors.
I don't actually know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that. No.
Nor do I even know who to reach out to find out the answer to that.
Clay?
Where's Clay?
Clay, we have questions.
Well, I mean, aren't you friends with like the guys who do the nightly shows, Chad?
Not really.
On between, I mean, I feel like you got some connects to like Gene Day and
Jim Day with Jim Day.
you know, I don't
You can
know.
ask Annie.
I think I don't know if he has liqueur, but I think he's got Giesenslaw.
Yeah, I used to know Pick really well, Jeff Pecoro, but he doesn't really do that anymore.
That's why I didn't mention him, and I don't know that he would necessarily know what the rule changes are this year in that regard. But yeah, I don't know. That's a fantastic question. That said, it was hilarious the other night when they brought in a pitcher to take over the game and had to immediately sub him out before he pitched a pitch. Yeah. I'd be so mad that I had to put on that stupid uniform for a game that I was not eligible to pitch in. Because they're not comfortable uniforms. They're
Bring out in the field
as comfortable as they can be, but it's not super comfortable to put on that uniform, tuck everything in, get your belt on, put the cleats on, go and warm up, and then you're like, nah, not tonight.
Not tonight. Maybe some other night.
Not tonight, buddy. New rules.
You're still on the taxi squad, so get your ass in a taxi and we'll see you at the hotel.
Well, and with it being a new rule, with it being a new rule, though, if you were the manager, if you were David Bell in David Bell's shoes, would either of you have been like, "I'll give you the grace"? I get it.
Nope.
I would not have.
Nah, fam.
There's no chance you're getting that same grace either, right?
Not after throwing a no-hitter and still losing. Nope.
Is there a single manager that you can think of that would have given someone that grace?
No.
Dusty Baker.
No shot.
No.
I don't think there is one. So yeah, I think he did the right thing.
I'm sad you guys missed my nah fam joke, but
nah fam. Nah.
I'd have slapped the shit out of that guy. Get off the mound. Quit disrespecting the game.
C. Trent just tweeted 17 minutes ago, which is something that Chad has already said, that the Reds have won at Fenway for the first time since October 22nd, 1975. John Boy Media retweeted and said, how?
How did they win?
Or yeah, how does that happen? How does that happen?
Well, that's because we don't play them every year like the Yankees, John Boy.
I think they were like 0-5. So they played the Red Sox 5 times in Fenway since 1975. It's not exactly a giant sample size.
Fair.
Well, and John Boy,
like if they were 0-17, like we would have a storyline, right?
John Boy's a Yankees guy, though. So, yeah, of course he's not going to know how it's possible that we haven't beat them since the 70s when he's a Yankees guy. They play them 17 times a year.
Yeah.
So. Outside of that, Ed, have you paid any attention to the roster reconstruction? Switching complete gears here, because I don't know that there's any more we can tap into in this Reds conversation.
Yeah, I'm done on the Reds. We're good.
Yeah, I'm done with the Reds.
So, Ed, have you paid any attention to the roster reconstruction of the Cincinnati Bearcats basketball team?
I mean, yeah, I've been paying attention to, Rayvon, and now he's going to, where's he going? Out of state? Is there Arizona? Yep. For high school, his senior year of high school.
Yes.
He's petitioning for Collier. And I know that they just started training again this week, right?
Yes.
Or today, actually, I think.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's because everyone's on campus.
Yeah. Well, except for
Skillings,
who still has to graduate, right?
Yes. So we asked this last night on the BBP, and I'm gonna throw a BBP question your way.
Okay.
Who are you? Well, I'm trying to remember how Brent worded this because his questions are very long.
Chad laughing in his background.
I wasn't even in the room.
But who are you most excited for? To be in training and to start working with Rayfeld and to kind of just get going with the program? Like, who are you most excited about through this early off season?
To be honest with you, I'm so lost. I'm not lost, but like I'm so in my head with like everybody. You know what I mean? Like next year's, and I don't know. I'm excited.
Do you know that we brought in a new point guard?
Yeah, as soon as you say his name, I'll remember.
From Indiana.
Yeah, you guys were talking about it last night.
Rob Finnessy.
Yeah, Finnessy. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
Because we talked about him on the show once, and I kept wanting to call him Hennessy. Yes.
Didn't know that, but okay.
Rob Hennessy.
Rob Hennessy, yeah.
I feel like there's a drinking game in there somewhere.
It has to.
And then we also brought in Kalui Zikpe.
Zikpe. Yep, we talked about that guy.
At center. And also Landers Nolly.
Ollie, who's still petitioning out there for more players. Yes. I mean,
is he?
No, he wasn't. Hold on. His tweet was that he was on his way to Cincinnati. Never mind. Got his tweet mixed up with Rayvon's. Rayon.
Excuse me, what?
Shut up and go.
Rayhan, you say? You had it right with Rayvon. I don't know why you corrected yourself.
I don't know why I overcorrected, but yeah. Because you give that look, and then I'm just like, I did it wrong again, but no, I did it right. So it is what it is.
Oh man. So yeah, there's certainly been some reconstruction in this roster. So who are you most excited now that we've named the new guys? Also Josh Reed and Daniel Skillings and Sage Talentino. Which, by the way,
Sage.
Did you see the picture that I saw earlier tonight that I had not seen before today?
Oh,
Go Bearcats MBB.
Oh, hold on, I'll pull it up. Oh, sorry, I was just on Rayvon's 24/7 page.
Trying to figure out who he was.
So Ed, they posted 4 pictures today from the first workout.
Missed those. I caught the Monster Factory things the other day.
Matthew, Sage looks like a man. The last time I saw him, Sage looked like a boy. Today, Sage looks like...
Is this him?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't even have to... Yes.
We haven't seen the picture yet, but yes, that's him.
With the curly hair and the...
This is where you share that picture, Ed.
I could share it, yeah.
That's what you do in the production job.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. That's not what I remember him looking like.
Agreed.
So has he been? But he just graduated, right? So he has not been in the Monster Factory.
Correct.
So they really be training there in Hamilton, huh?
Or he's been working on what he's eating. He's still been training up. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know what the Chad. You can probably talk more to this than I can, but I don't know what the level of involvement that you can have as a coaching staff.
Once he signs, there's some involvement that's allowed. Like, he can start working with Mike. Like, he can't come work out with the team, but
he can give him assignments like reps and things to do in the weight room or food, as far as like some type of diet.
Hey, can we talk about these shorts for a second?
This is what he looked like about a year ago.
Are you sharing something, Chad?
Yeah.
That means you have to stop sharing, I think, Ed.
Yeah, I think you have to bring it in the show.
Oh,
That's
really
what he
small.
looked like a year ago. That is not the same human as what Ed just shared.
That's a whole different man.
That's a boy.
Well, that's a boy. That's a boy. And then that's not a boy anymore.
No. That's exciting. That is exciting.
Well, and none of us were sure what he was going to be when we saw the kid that committed, right?
Yeah.
We were all thinking like you're going to need a year, and
he's
we'll
really
see.
skilled. Like he can shoot the three. He can run the floor. Like, there's a lot to be excited about Sage.
Nolly is here, yes.
Yes, Nolly is here.
Yes.
Everybody's here but Dan. And Dan will be here in 2 weeks. He's just got to graduate high school first.
Kind of.
Can we talk for a second here? I thought these were the throwback shorts, but then I noticed the Under Armour logo on them. Are we? Is this a sneak peek at maybe a uniform combination this year?
No.
Okay.
It's just some shorts that they have for practice.
No, Under Armour has been habitually releasing way better gear for practice and for the teams than they've ever released for the buying public.
That's fair.
That's also true.
Why do they do that to us? But then when they do release it, it's like $80 for
a t-shirt.
A t-shirt.
Matthew, I don't think the Hamilton thing is fair. He was dealing with a pretty major knee injury that they actually did UC a solid by not rushing him back. They could have rushed him back and like forced him into a workload on, a knee injury, a knee surgery that would have done the kid and UC a disservice. I think his Coach Higgins did a great job making sure that they did right by the kid and that they brought him along slowly. Are there maybe some complaints about like how they used him, specifically as like a back to the basket 7-footer, or used him as a stretch guy, pick and pop, pick and roll, whatever? Sure. But like, come on, like they did right by the kid. That's all you can ask for from a high school coach, because the high school coach has a high major Division I prospect on his team, that his team is going to be better if that kid plays 30 minutes a night. And
he's also trying to keep his job.
Yeah, they didn't do that to him. They allowed him to come back slowly. They allowed him to work his way back into shape and not play like a situation that would have been detrimental to his growth. So I think Hamilton did right by the kid. They did right by UC. And looking at that picture, like,
what a fantastic
stunned.
What a fantastic story he could end up being, right? To go from Hawaii kid who was committed to
move to Hamilton, Ohio. What's wrong with your family?
Committed to Auburn,
right?
And decommits to Auburn, moves to Hamilton of all places. And anybody who lives in Cincinnati, Hamilton is a thing. We all know it.
They love it. Like that family is like ingrained into the fabric of Hamilton now.
So strange.
Yeah.
And now he is becoming a man before our eyes.
Right.
And I'm excited for the kid. I don't know what to make of any of this because it's unprecedented.
I'm going to need like a week or two of workouts and then to start like checking in on like progress. How far along is he?
Yeah.
Like how far along really is he? I don't think you can get that answer today, right? I think it's going to be middle of June or early July where you really start to get a feeling of like, can he play this year? Like, is he farther along than we thought? Because I did not expect that kid to look like that on day one.
No.
I expected to see the baby.
I think it was fair to expect him to look like that by the end of
the
summer workouts.
Yeah. On day one.
Shock the shit out of me.
Remember, this is a kid that I had commit on the air.
Yeah, I know
on
that.
Mo's show. This is a food truck that I've promoted relentlessly.
You've hugged it out with this family on so many occasions.
Right. Like I did not expect. I expected him to look like
baby boy,
the kid that I met when he got to campus. Not to be a grown ass man on day one.
Right.
Facial hair and all.
Great beard, by the way. This was a kid that was struggling to grow a mustache a year ago.
100%.
Now he's got the whole deal. Let's go, Sage. Let's go.
It's not connecting right here, but yeah.
That's okay.
It doesn't have to.
Work in progress.
Aaron had that problem in college too. We know.
He's a freshman.
But look, here's the thing. I am confident that Sage and Josh Reed are going to be early contributors. If Sage is also now ahead of the curve and ready to be an early contributor,
we've not mentioned him, Chad, in any of our basketball conversations.
I've mentioned him, but just I figured it was going to be a year
off,
growing up,
a process. Yes,
yeah, as there usually is with kids that are 7'1" and as skinny as he was.
So are we potentially
8 months ago?
Are we potentially looking at an 11, 12-man rotation again?
I'm still expecting Sage to need some time, but he just looks farther along in the process than I expected in that timeline.
Hensley needed some time to adjust from his previous conference to the American, and once he got that a little bit more time, he shined. But it took him until he was ready. So, I mean, if we're looking at that to where Sage and Josh Reed and Skillings are getting a lot of garbage time in out of conference early on, all of a sudden, maybe you're talking about an 11, 12-man rotation against conference play, and this team is looking far different with an 11, 12-man rotation next year than we looked last year.
Well, and what you're dealing with is this team is going to look a lot different next year. Like there's a lot of age out COVID seniors. There's a couple guys that are going to have to make decisions on do they take the COVID year or not. When we get to next year, this team is going to look quite a bit different. It will be in a much better place if these young guys show that they're a little bit farther along than maybe we anticipated or expected going through
when they signed. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that
it's fun.
Ceiling
just and then you're looking at, can they close the deal on Collier? What's the end result of the official visit this week with Arlington Page?
Yeah. All of a sudden, your ceiling for the first year in the Big 12 maybe got a little higher.
You're still going to be young.
Yeah, absolutely.
You may have been asked this already, Chad, but does Rayvon going to Arizona worry you a little bit? Like he might decommit from Cincinnati?
No.
We've talked extensively about it, Ed.
No,
in the nightcaps.
He just catch all the nightcaps. I'm sorry.
I just don't know that what left was there for him to do at Taft.
Okay.
And I've talked about a lot. He got to experience this spring what it's like to play with a bunch of other high major guys, right? Reed Shepherd going to Kentucky, Gabe Cupps going to Indiana, top 50, 75 type teammates. And all of a sudden, you're getting more open shots because they're also drawing the attention that you're drawing. When you go back to Taft, you're going to be the focus of everything that everyone does when they play you. Right. And you're going to be 90% of the time the only high major player on the floor. Going to Arizona Compass Prep, they're one of the top 10 high school basketball programs in the country. Mm-hmm. They've got 2 top 20 players on their team that are also going to elite high major programs. So now you're getting to experience what college is going to be like, where you're playing with high-level coaching, high-level teammates. You're experiencing what it's like to play in those type of environments where instead of you being like, this is the main thing, Ed, he's going from a situation where he was going to be the only high major guy on the floor in 90% of his games to being in games where there's 7, 8, 9, 10 high major guys on the floor every second that he plays. Right?
I just thought nowadays you got that from AAU.
So he got it from AAU,
but now he's going to his rate. Okay.
He's going to continue it into and that's all these schools exist. So there's a league that Compass Prep plays in. It includes Oak Hill Academy and IMG and like a lot of these high level high school basketball programs, and they all play each other. So that's what I'm saying. Like he's now going to be on the floor in what are essentially college games, right? Like,
I just didn't think like the high school team mattered much anymore with AAU. Like I just thought you get scouted more, you get seen more at an AAU tournament than you would.
Sure, but he's not. He doesn't have to get scouted.
Yeah, at a prep school,
he's committed to Cincinnati.
At a prep school, you get to play basketball all year.
That's fair. Okay.
Like, and with top talent, it makes a difference. You know what I mean? Like,
I just missed out on all that recruiting when I was in high school because LeBron. But
again, I just didn't follow you down the lane on that joke.
I'm not in the league because of LeBron.
Yeah,
all the scouts in Ohio went to his games and left.
There's a million other reasons.
It didn't go to Coleraine Elementary School on Monday nights.
Million other reasons.
What are those million other reasons, Aaron? Did you ever see me ball?
That beard, for starters.
I didn't have a beard in high school. Goatee.
You're no Sage Tolentino, I'll tell you that.
I'm no Sage Tolentino. I'm no Sage Tolentino. That is true.
I don't know what that's in reference to, Matthew. You'll have to elaborate.
He was asking, does that team play D-League team?
Per game. He's saying Ed scored 4 points and got 3 rebounds.
Sure didn't.
No, let's bump up the rebounds.
And lower the points.
And lower the points. 2 points, 4 rebounds.
It's like double the rebounds. I probably had about 6 rebounds.
Like 0.8 points.
We could lower the points. I probably had 2.
You got 1 bucket a game. Or you went to the free throw. You were 2 for 6 from the free throw line.
Free throw line. Yeah. One game I pulled up for a 3 and drained it.
One game.
I did the rain thing. Yeah.
It never rained again. He was on a drought the rest of his career.
No, I got suspended after that game for a game for fighting a guy.
Shot him in the face.
Nah, he tried.
Circle.
We both went up. I went up to block his shot. He went up to shoot. Our feet got tangled up. He fell. I didn't. I went down the other end of the court. Turned around. He's running down with his arms out, getting ready to tackle me. I grabbed him, threw him on the ground, gave him a nice crock shot like that. He got ejected, and I got to play the rest of the game. And then after the game, his boys wanted to fight, and my boy was like, "Go fight him!" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's go."
And
yeah, I put my career in his hands. Actually, that was how I started this. That was how I started this.
Uh-huh. It worked out all right.
Yep.
Thank God I saved you.
You talking? Oh. I don't know who got him the Sean Casey interview.
That ended up with your head in a garbage can.
Which, by the way, I ate 3 cheese conies tonight, and I could barely finish that third one. So I don't think I could ever do that again.
Who got me the Luke Fickle on vacation interview, and the Luke Fickle and Brady in the casino after the draft interview?
Wes Miller at a coffee shop.
You got to be part of that interview, though, Ed.
I was part of that interview. I was there.
They've seen your face.
We all were just like, "Is this really fucking happening?"
You may have been running back to your sideline during that interview, but they saw your face. They also could maybe need a hypnotist to sketch your face after dialing back into the memory. But they've seen you.
Oh, okay.
Goodness.
You remember the guy that smacked you more than Luke Fickle remembers your face from that interview.
There it is.
That's fair.
It's no longer funny when you have to explain the joke, man.
Did I tell you I saw
in a way that wasn't like, over the top insulting.
Did I tell you I saw Brady at a traffic light? And I looked over and I was like,
in his giant truck.
Yeah, and I was like, He didn't. He did. I think he just kind of turned his head like, "Why is this guy waving at me?"
He didn't remember you.
He may have ran the red light. Just be like, "I gotta get away from this guy."
That's not the first time you've had that happen, right?
I don't know that inside joke.
Dallas Latos.
Dallas Latos. Didn't know it was her. I just really liked the truck. And then she looked over and I was like, "Oh, she saw me." And then I drove off. I still didn't know it was her.
And she
then
tweeted about him.
I'm sitting in line to get my tickets, and all of a sudden I get a tweet. I'm tagging a tweet, and it's her saying, "Somebody just took a picture of me eating my granola bar at a traffic light. I bet that's a great picture." And literally Jeff, without knowing the story, retweets it and says, "Please tell me this wasn't Ed."
It was. Did you post the picture?
No, I deleted it because I was like, I didn't get the truck in the picture because I didn't know it was her. I just thought the truck was really cool.
He put it in his saved pictures, Chad. He's
No,
never
that's
shown. He's never shown anybody
That's not
the
true.
hidden album.
That's not true.
Switching over from an Android was really hard from him when he lost all those pictures.
Good night, Geoff.
I think it's bedtime for
boy.
everyone. Things have gotten off the rails, but that was another episode of Part of the Punctuation. We missed Jeff. We're sorry he had to work tonight. But we thank Chad for filling in his stead. He would have been here sooner, but Ed was talking and missed the signal.
Left me in the lobby for like 15 minutes.
I don't have access to that in this realm. I did, but it requires me to have like
Aaron. I left and came back twice, thinking that it would trigger like the beep in the audio beep into like where Ed would notice that I was here. Ed.
I was on a Teams call today. I swear I heard that beep.
Ed. So if I don't want to be on the show, I'll just watch the show on YouTube. Okay. If you see me pop into the lobby, that means like
next time just hit us in the private chat. I'd pay attention to that.
I paid attention to the
producer stuff. As soon as you hit me in the private chat, let's go.
Hey, by the way, your videos aren't saving to Twitch, producer.
They're not supposed to save to Twitch. It's just a live stream. We can't go. I don't think we can go live on that until we have subscribers.
Yeah, you have to
be an affiliate.
You got to level up.
We got to level up. Yep, there it is again.
You've been live on Twitch.
Again. You got to level up before they'll
save them.
That's a callback to the nightcap for those of you who are paying attention.
I'm big on callbacks. Like I love comedy, so I like callbacks.
I like callbacks.
But for my co-hosts tonight, Chad and Ed, I am Aaron. This was Part of the Punctuation, and we'll see you next week. 9:15.
See ya.
MJF sucks.